Hello, Slicey Dicers. This is Brian with another knife review for you. Today we have the WE Yucha, however you prefer to say it. I say Yucha, Y-U-C-H-A. It's right up there in the thing at the top, and you can pronounce it however you want. Choose your own adventure. This is a new for 2018 design from WE Knives. It is a fairly big knife. It harkens back to their old 617, more budget-priced model. I had one of those for a while. I did really like it. And this is kind of just a fancy pants version of that, but quite a bit more fancy pants. This is $253, so it's not an inexpensive knife, but it's not crazy expensive, and you're getting a whole lot for it. You're getting carbon fiber, titanium handles, S35 VN, this cool compound grind blade that they didn't have in the 617, WE's usual really nice hardware and awesome action you get on these higher end versions. So it's a pretty cool knife. I actually liked it a lot more than I expected to. From pictures, it was not something I thought I'd want to try out, but I'm glad I did. Let's do some specs and some size comparisons and stuff before we get too much farther. We have an overall length of 8.7 inches, so it's a pretty long knife. Blade length of 3.9 inches. You have a handle width of 0.6 inches, a blade thickness at its thickest of 0.16 inches, and a weight of 4.38 ounces. So it's not heavy by any means, but it's not particularly light either. For a knife this size, though, it's really not too bad. As far as the thickness behind the edge, that's a measurement I know you guys always like. It's about 22 thousandths up here on this flatter part and this higher flat grind, and on the lower flat grind, it's about 24 thousandths behind the edge. Do some size comparisons before we move on too much farther. Let's do some standards. First of all, we will do the Buck 110. I always bust this out when I have larger knives. You can see it's pretty similar in overall length and everything to a Buck 110. You have your Spyderco Paramilitary 2. It's a little bit longer than a PM2, but not dramatically so. Maybe a skosh and a quarter. I needed to find exactly what a skosh is. I figured out myself. I think it's about a 1/4 inch. I'm not really sure. If there's any skosh conversion experts out there, let me know. And your Benchmade 940. That's all we'll do for the standards. Now let's get to some knives that it more normally compares with. We have some of its family members, the WE Wasabi. Very similar in overall length to WE Wasabi, almost exactly the same. Another WE product that also is new for 2018 that I'll have a review out soon, if I haven't already. I'm not sure what order I'm going to put these out. The WE Bullet. It's just a little bit longer than the Bullet is. And lastly, we have another big titanium frame lock knife, the Riot New Torrent. And it's pretty similar, again, just a little bit longer than a New Torrent. Okay, let's talk more about this knife itself. Overall looks and stuff wise, I really like the look of it. The blade isn't really exactly my thing. I don't like the look of multi-grinds most of the time, compound grinds. And the harpoon doesn't blow me away. That's why I sold my 617. I kind of just didn't like the look of the harpoon. But this one looks all right. It looks better with the hole and stuff in it. And the stonewash on it is awesome. The finish is really great. I really do like the stonewash. I love that WE is continuing to not billboard anything. The only place this is even marked S35 VN is down inside there. I don't know if you're probably not even going to be able to see it on camera, but trust me, it's down there. You can see it when you fold it out. Yeah, you can see a little better there. That's the only place they even bother to mark that it's S35 VN, which is pretty cool. The overall shape of the handle, though, and the look of the handle, I love that. I love the look of from here back. I like just the gold collar and the little gold bronzy screw back here. It does come in other colors. It does come in a black coated blade, and it comes with where this is just plain titanium. It comes in either like a goldish color or a blue. You can get any combination thereof, which is pretty nice. As far as fit and finish goes, it's a high-end WE. It's what you'd expect. It's excellent, which means it's excellent. It's very, very good. Everything lines up perfectly. Everything works smoothly. It's just really, really nice. I don't know how many people this passed through before I got it. This is from a pass-around group, so I don't know how well broken in it is, but it works excellently. And no issues with quality. The carbon is very good. You can see where there's some voids they filled in with glue or something like that, but that's not terribly uncommon, and it's not enough to really bother me. And it is $253. It's not cheap by any means, but it's not a $500 knife or anything. No issues there with it. As far as this blade goes, this compound grind blade, it does work really well. It slices especially well up front, as you'd expect. It's, as I mentioned earlier, 22 thousandths behind the edge up here. Pretty high flat grind. It does slice pretty well. Back here, which I guess they intend for heavier duty use or something like that, it works well enough. It is S35VN. It came super sharp out of the box. The harpoon is nice, I guess, if you're into that kind of thing. It's not really my thing, but I guess you can. If you have super long fingers, it is a nice place to rest your finger if you're choking up to do really detail-oriented stuff, if you're holding it like this. No real complaints with the blade. I'd rather just see a plain non-compound grind blade, but that may be a personal taste thing. People are into them for sure. Ergonomically, it's excellent. It's super comfortable. No hot spots whatsoever. They did a really good job of rounding off this pocket clip. So it's there's just, you don't hardly even feel it. That jimping here on the back actually is functional. It does grab you. The jimping on top of the blade is really good. You can choke up if you want to. The finger choil up here is just big enough to be called a finger choil, and it works really well. I have no complaints ergonomically. It is a bit slippery for sure. This carbon is super polished, but it doesn't really need to be grippy. You've got some good purchase here from the jimping on the frame / liner lock. I'm going to call this a frame lock because these carbon strips aren't really doing much except just covering some stuff up and acting as an over travel stop. But the grip here works well. The grip from the flipper tab works well, and you're just kind of locked in by the design. So the only time I notice it's slippery is when you're fiddling with it. There is some potential to oopsie and drop it, but other than that, I really like the ergonomics of it very, very well. Carry wise, it's not bad. The flipper tab sticks out a little bit, not horribly so. This pocket clip, I think it works well, but it does feel like the positioning of it could be a little bit better somehow. I don't know. This isn't a particularly tall knife in the pocket. You're looking at, inch and a quarter or something like that, maybe a little bit over that. But it does feel fairly large in the pocket, not horribly so, but it does carry very deeply, which I like. You've only got this much sticking out. Depending on your color choice, if you've got this one, that one still makes it pretty stealthy, but if you've got one of the bright blue or the gold ones, it might stick out a bit more. Deployment, it's a really nice WE ceramic ball bearing knife. They're all excellent, and this is no exception. Rockets right out. Detent is outstanding on it. It's really, really good. It is almost completely fall shutty. You just got to give it a little snug. Like I said, I don't know how long this knife is, how many people have handled this. It might break in more. I did not bother to take this one apart, but it works really, really well. The deployment, the detent especially, I'm impressed with. On a big, heavy blade like this, it's hard to really get that detent really right, and we did a great job with this. The detent on it is absolutely perfect. So what are my conclusions on this? It's a nice knife. It's not my thing. I don't think I'll buy one. But like I said, I had the 617 and I sold that, and this is a much nicer version of that. But the stuff that I didn't like about the 617 aren't really any different here. I just don't really care much for the harpoon look. But it's a really, really, really nicely done knife. Absolutely. If this look strikes you and this is something you want, you can jump on it with absolutely no reservations. WE is a great company to deal with. They do a great job. And this is definitely a good example of their knives. And for $253, this feels like one of their $300 knives, like their $300 and $350 knives. It really is that nice. They've done a great job with it. It's just S35VN instead of the M390 you'll usually see or in those higher end ones. But it's pretty hard not to call this high end. $253 is still definitely high end, but again, very much worth the price. You still get all the cool WE stuff. You get the little bag, you get the really nice new box and all that. Yeah, I have it right here. Here's the box. I'll show it to you instead of talk about it. You get the new WE box, which is kind of fancy. I like the new printing and stuff on it. Yeah, you get the WE bag, which is nicely done. You get all your little stuff in here. Your little polishing cloth, your do not eat gel stuff, your little Rolls-Royce floor mat material stuff. Very, very, very nice packaging, very nice presentation, and WE is just they're killing it lately. They're coming out with so many knife designs it's almost hard to keep up, but most of them are pretty great, so it's also pretty hard to complain. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. This is a nice knife. I do recommend it if you do like the look and you like that harpoon style compound grind blade. So go out and buy one if this is your thing. I've been Brian. Have a good one.